Similarly, on the nonprofit side, being able to report to donors about how they're, spending donations, their resources on new donors, on new opportunities, being able to tie them together and just kind of show the ROI there has been a big one. Was submitting receipts that are kind of just grouped together,
Yes.
and somebody in finance having to do a lot of the manual effort.
Yeah, and how nuanced does it get? So if I'm taking a potential client to, I take them, I have a coffee meeting, for example, and I get, there's that and there's multiple meetings, or all of these attributed to that particular account to classify the end result of what it's truly costing.
Right. So, I mean, it really depends on the system setup and how the system is configured. But ultimately, let's say from like a professional services perspective, if you're working on a specific project, you're assigned to that project, and you've traveled for that client, it'll automatically recognize that you're on this trip for this project for this assignment, and therefore assign or tag the expense against that assignment for future billing.
Yeah, and as far as like, you talked about ad spend and marketing spend, what are you seeing as the biggest buckets that are going against the clients at the moment that were unattributed and now they are attributed to the client?
I mean, previously it wasn't really expenses or spend wasn't particularly being tracked against campaigns to this extent. Like, you just have a group of or a credit card on file with whether it's Google Ads or whatnot, pooling a certain amount on a monthly basis. So it wasn't really categorized in any meaningful sort of way. Being able to just break it out by these individual campaigns has created more clarity with how much is being spent per bucket, and then ultimately what translates into an opportunity, what closes, what doesn't. Events are obviously another big one,
Yes.
but again, like none of these other systems really focus around like tagging it against that specific bucket. It's more so like, is this type of expense? And there's the data picture is not very complete.
And last question, a bit tactical, but let's say Dreamforce, right? You Dreamforce is an event and 20 customers come along.